Hi guys, it's Sian here. As you can see, I'm by myself, and as you can see from the title, it's my month, my pick of the month. And today we're going to be talking about PCOS. But first, before we jump into that, I would love to kind of take this time to talk about some of my faves of this month. So we spoke about Blue Monday, we talked about seasonal affective disorder, and we also spoke about Goodreads and our love for books, our unhealthy love for books. So yeah, I think the main highlight of this month has really been the start of the new year, the start of 2020. As cliche as it sounds, just feeling really positive and wanting to kickstart everything. I'm really just hoping that this energy just flows throughout the year. Whatever happens, we just combat it with prayer, with good intentions and just mental strength, really. So what is PCOS? PCOS stands for Polycystic Ovary Syndrome. It affects 1 in 5 women, and PCOS is basically small growths that appear on the ovaries, and this can stop normal ovulation. PCOS can also reveal the same kind of symptoms of endometriosis, if I'm saying this correctly, and you can often have both. I would advise going to your doctor or going to a GP to actually figure out which one you do have, or if you have both, because I'm not a professional. I just want to say that before we get into this. Some of the symptoms that you may have if you're dealing with PCOS is the lack of or absent periods altogether. Our hormone levels are much higher. So basically all women produce testosterone, but for women with PCOS there tends to be higher levels of testosterone. PCOS is something that you can't necessarily get rid of, but there are ways in which you can ease the pain, for example, of the really heavy periods that you might experience, and also bad period cramps. So in my case, I actually have ovarian cysts, and this can be found by doing an ultrasound and having a scan and finding those. In some cases, women often get them removed, but my doctor advised me that I'm not in any danger, it is nothing too harmful. So we kind of spoke about what PCOS is. I want to kind of discuss kind of my personal experience with PCOS and kind of the things that I've researched, the things that I've been told. It's just a very wide spectrum, and not all women with PCOS deal with all of these symptoms, but some women may. At the time I was 18 when I found out I had PCOS, after suffering years with like really painful periods, or sometimes I believe there was 1 year where I didn't have a period altogether, and that was really stressful. And so I had a scan and then was diagnosed with PCOS, and my GP basically said to me, come back when you decide to family plan, and the best thing you can do right now is lose weight. And I was really offended. I was really offended by that. Telling an 18-year-old to basically lose weight is quite hard to hear. But it wasn't until I did research myself, and actually weight reduction can help your periods come back regularly. Being at the right BMI and the right weight can make your periods resume, but this again is not the same for all women. One other thing is excessive hair growth, and in areas such as your upper lip or your armpits. These are mainly areas where, you know, men often grow more hair, and that's really because of the high testosterone levels that women with PCOS face. And so I epilate my upper lip, or I epilate my chin. I get a lot of chin hair, and I never really used to feel self-conscious about my hair until I started teaching, and my kids, they really like to touch my face, and I became more self-aware of that. The way I deal with that is really just removing the hair if I'm bothered to, and like we spoke about in our self-soothing video, self-care, just putting on a face mask and feeling good, exfoliating, putting on lotions, and just feeling more comfortable in my own skin. So that's a lot about your physical appearance, but what about the things you have to deal with mentally? So I gained a lot of weight very quickly, and this made me feel quite depressed, even more depressed than I was already feeling, and it's very hard to shift that weight as well. So that was something that was really stressful that I had to deal with, and body image is a very hard thing to deal with. Not being able to lose weight within a certain amount of time felt really demoralizing and very demotivating as well. I lost a lot of confidence in my body, and even some days I still find it difficult to look in the mirror and be happy with what I see. But it's really a learning process, and you know, one thing they do recommend is weight loss is really taking up a healthy lifestyle, which is one of my resolutions for this year. Not only does physical, you know, exercise and things help you, your body, but it also helps your mind. I feel revitalized, I feel healthy, I feel like I can accomplish things, and when I'm working out consistently, it helps my periods come back as well. And yeah, that's something I do to help with my physical appearance and also my mental health. One other issue that some women may face is infertility, and this is something that I was most afraid of, because in my heart, like, one of my biggest dreams is to be a mother, and to be told that you might not be able to, it can really knock you. There are obviously other ways to be a mother and to be a parent, and adoption. I say adoption is an option, and I will be adopting in the future. And some women are able to have children with PCOS. Again, just doing the things that will help your body and help your mind, and it will work out. Another thing that may help is contraception. If you're able to take the combined pill, this can also help regulate your periods and also regulate your hormones. Sadly, this wasn't an option for me because I also suffer from migraines, and specifically migraines with an aura. And if I take the combined pill, I'm at a high risk of having a stroke when I'm older. So I was actually placed on the mini pill, which you take every day. There's no break. And actually I had a bad experience of this, but I won't go too into depth with it. If you want to know more, message me through our Instagram and we can chat about it. But I know that contraception can also help regulate hormones and your periods for some women with PCOS, so that could be something else that you look into. So I think the things that have worked for me, like I've said before, is doing exercise. It helps me physically and also mentally. Also having a good diet and sticking to a good diet and making healthy choices that are going to benefit me in the long run. Another good thing I would say is using a good period app tracker. I use Flow, and they do have a premium account, which I do have, which is very useful, but if you get the free account, it's still pretty good. There's online forums, there's communities, there are news articles from actual doctors on there, and you can do some tests on there, and you can also take that to your GP, so you could do a little quiz and then be like, these are the symptoms I've been facing, like really bad period cramps, absence or lack of periods, and you can show this to your GP or your doctor. I would say telling your partner. I think being open about anything really, but mainly about things like this. Just having someone, regardless of gender, who is mindful about nutrition and exercise and wanted to promote a healthier lifestyle, like that really is beneficial. And when I think back to that GP that told me to come back when I was thinking of family planning and just told me to lose weight, I can't be mad at him anymore, because there isn't that much research on PCOS. As I said before, it's not something that can be cured, only managed, and for him not to know too much, I can't be mad at him. So if your doctor or GP kind of gives you a curt answer in response to your symptoms, don't feel too discouraged, and do the things that work well for your body and also for your mind. And I just hope that if you're dealing with PCOS, or you have a friend, family, partner that is also dealing with PCOS, that this video helps you a little bit, and I hope that you're happy and healthy, and see you all next time. Bye!